Hello class, we're about to start section 1.5, multiplying whole numbers in area. Okay, multiplication is repeated addition. There are three main symbols used to indicate multiplication. We have the X, we have the dot, and we have the parentheses. Also, the numbers that are multiplied are called factors. The final answer after multiplying is called the product. Here are a few properties of multiplication that will help you with multiplying whole numbers. Okay, now, our first property is the multiplication property of 0, which basically states that if you multiply any number by 0, it gives you 0. So 5 times 0 is 0, and 0 times 8 is also 0. Then we have the multiplication property of 1, which basically states any number multiplied by 1 gives you that number. So 5 times 1 is 5, and 1 times 8 is 8. Now, we come to the commutative property of multiplication. Now, with the commutative property of multiplication, basically it's saying that if it's all multiplication and you change the order, the answer would still be the same, or the product would still be the same. 5 times 2 is 10, and also 2 times 5 is 10. Now, the associative property of multiplication. If it's all multiplication, and if you just shift the parentheses, your answer still would be the same. Just like take this here. 2 times 3 is 6, and we know 6 times 4 is 24. Now, we have 2 times 3 times 4 is 12. So we have 2 times 12. Both of these numbers equal 24. Okay, now we come here to the distributive property. It says multiplication distributes over addition. It also distributes over subtraction as well. So what this means is this here. If you have a number multiplied by a parenthesis, that the terms are separated by addition or subtraction, you can multiply that value by both of the terms. So you would take 2 times 3, which we have here, plus 2 times 4. Now let me clarify something here. This plus sign does not come from inside this parenthesis. This plus sign comes from the sign of this number that you're multiplying by the parenthesis. Since this 2 is positive, this is where we get the plus from. So now, if you look here, let's just do this problem out. 3 plus 4 we know is 7. So we know 2 times 7 is 14. Okay, now we use the distributive property. This should still give us 14. So we look here, 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 times 4 is 8. 6 plus 8 is also 14. So this proves that the distributive property works. Now we scroll down here to the next page. We have example set A. It tells us to multiply. We have 0 times 7, which we know is 0. 1 times 25 is 25. Because remember those rules, 0 times any number is 0, 1 times any number is the number itself. And we have 8 times 9, which is 72. Now it says here, rewrite each using the distributive property, then solve. So what we need to do is take this 7 and multiply it by both of these terms. So we will have 7 times 9 plus, since that 7 is positive, plus 7 times 8. Remember, we multiplied this 7 by the 9 and also this 7 by the 8. So 7 times 9 we know is 63, plus 7 times 8 is 56. 63 plus 56 will give us 119. Now we go here to number 5. We would take 3 times 6 plus 3 times 3. So we'll take this 3 times 6 and also this 3 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18, and 3 times 3 is 9. 18 plus 9 is 27. Now, we scroll down here to section B, multiplying whole numbers. In this section, we will go through the process of multiplying whole numbers that have at least one number with more than one digit. Okay, now number 1, we have 89 times 12. So we would take 2 times 9, which is 18. We'll carry our 1. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. We add a 0 here as a placeholder because here we're multiplying starting in the tens place, so we must also start this next column here in the tens place. So we have 1 times 9, which is 9, and 1 times 8, which is 8. Now we add 8 plus 0 is 8, 7 plus 9 is 16, carry a 1. 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So it's 1068. Now we go to problem number 2. 8 times 7 is 56. Bring down your 6, carry your 5. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 5 is 21. So it's 216. Now we scroll down here to problems 3 and 4. 5 times 6 is 30. Bring down your 0, carry your 3. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 3 is 38. Bring down your 8, carry your 3. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13. So it's 1,380. Now we look here at number 4. We have 5 times 6, which is 30. Bring down your 0, carry your 3. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. Now 5 times 3 is 15. Now we have to put 0 as a placeholder because we're starting with the tens place when we multiply. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. And 1 times 3 is 3. Now we have to add 2 zeros here because we're multiplying starting with the hundreds place. 2 times 6 is 12. Bring down your 2. Carry your 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Plus 1 is 3. And 2 times 3 is 6. Now we add. This is 0. 8 plus 6 plus 0 is 14. Carry your 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. Plus 2 is 9. 1 plus 3 is 4. Plus 3 is 7. And we bring down our 6. So we have 67,940. Now we scroll down here to section C. It says finding the area of a rectangle. Area measures the amount of surface of a region. The picture below illustrates this. How many of these 1 square centimeter boxes are in this? So we look here. If you count these boxes up, we have 12. Now, so there are 12 square centimeters in the area of this rectangle. Now we look here at this same rectangle. There's a formula we could use for the rectangle. The formula is the area of a rectangle, which is length times the width. Now the length here is 4 centimeters and the width is 3 centimeters. So we would take 4 times 3, which is 12, and centimeters times centimeters will give you square centimeters. Or you could write this as 12 centimeters to the second power. This is the same thing as square centimeters. Now, there's a notation here. Area is measured in square units while perimeter is measured in units. When you go back to where we did perimeter problems, if you notice, perimeter kept the same exact units. But when we did area, our units are squared. Okay, now, number 1. The state of Colorado is in the shape of a rectangle whose length is 380 miles and whose width is 280 miles. Find the area. So we will put area is equal to 380 miles multiplied by 280 miles. Now, just as a point of clarity, I didn't write this here, but I will write it up here. Remember, the formula for area of a rectangle is your length times your width. And this is how I got these values here. Our length was 380 miles and our width was 280 miles. Now we need to multiply these. I would suggest we go off to the side here. We add 380 times 280. Now, what we could do is this here. We have 0, because 0 times 380 is 0. We put a 0 here, notating we're starting in the tens place. So 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 8 is 64. Carry your 6. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 6 is 30. Now we add 2 zeros here. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 8 is 16. Carry your 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So now we add them. We have 0, 0, 4, 6, and 10. So we have 106,400. So our area is 106,400, and it's square miles. Now, since we are using MyMathLab, it can have it written as this here, or your answer could be 106,400 miles squared. Either one of these is acceptable, but you have to check it out on MyMathLab to see which one it takes. Okay, now we scroll down here to section D. It says solving problems by multiplying. There are several words and phrases that indicate multiplication, as there are in addition and subtraction. In the table below are some of these phrases. Okay, we have multiply, product, times. It says multiply 5 by 7. We did 5 times 7. The product of 3 and 2 is 3 times 2. And 10 times 13 is 10 times 13. Okay, so now we need to scroll down to example set D. It says use these phrases. Use of these phrases can help you solve problems involving multiplication. We have example set D. Solve. A DVD can hold 4,800 megabytes of information. How many megabytes can 13 DVDs hold? Now this will be a multiplication problem. We have 4,800 times 13. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 8 is 24. Carry your 2. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. Now we add a 0 here. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 8 is 8. And 1 times 4 is 4. Now we add these values together. We have 0, 0, 4. 4 and 8 is 12. We carry our 1. 1 and 1 is 2, plus 4 is 6. So we have 62,400 megabytes are on 13 DVDs. Okay, now we scroll down here to number 2. It says the average page of a book contains 259 words. Estimate, rounding each number to the nearest hundred, the total number of words contained on 212 pages. So if we round this to the nearest hundred, 259 rounded to the nearest hundred will be 300. 212 rounded to the nearest hundred is 200. And we multiply these values. So we know we will have 0. We will have 0 here. We'll put 2 zeros here. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. And 2 times 3 is 6. So we have 0 plus 60,000, which is just 60,000. So it's 60,000 words contained on 212 pages. And there's one other thing we need to add in here. It should be approximately. And we can abbreviate approximately. So it's approximately 60,000 words contained on 212 pages.